child support agencies. The placements have been a resounding success, with over 60 students across countries and faculties being placed in various CSI-supported agencies in 8 countries in the region.
The project has now expanded to include not only the University of the West Indies, but also the University of Guyana and the University of Belize. A number of agencies have indicated that they have been quite impressed with the interns, many of the interns we've sent. One that stands out in my mind is the case of Toko, where we sent an intern to help with in the community radio. And the response from that agency was that that person played an integral role in the development of community radio.
One area in which interns are involved is in communications, and the Regional Radio Project focuses on 8 communities in 6 different countries, helping the development of local programs on parenting and early childhood development for dissemination on community and national radio stations.
Toronto boy, Levy, come boy.
Morning, Pavai. Morning, Mavai.
Good job, morning, sir. Look, go on buy a gill of rum and 2 cigarettes for me.
Okay, Pa, but what about the bread for breakfast?
I don't have money for bread, boy.
The program in Dominica was the only one that's being done with children. And so within that one, there have been, stories and so on that have, moral themes in terms of, having manners and, how you behave to one another and so on. So, and within that program as well, although it's by the children, we put in some stories that will interest the parents as well. So, for instance, it might be something to do with child abuse. The children learn something about it and what they can do, but also the adults will learn something about it as well.
Only remember the story about Brother Anansi and Brother Snake? Now, just like Anansi, you too can achieve your goals. You see, Anansi didn't allow his smallness of size to stop him from doing such a big task. And you could do the same.
So what we're doing is we're taking storytelling out of the traditional format that it's been in, where it's just been used for entertainment, where it's just been used for passing on morals and that kind of thing, and we're bringing it into a more contemporary space. And we're saying it can be used now to educate about tying a shoelace ends of a child, about bullying, about simple things, learning to eat with a knife and fork, how do we, and we're also making it relevant to the communities. So for instance, in Dominica, in the banana plantation up in the Carib territories, the parents are now using the storytelling in gardening, in going to the river, and all the different things. This is not just fictitious or fictional stories, but it's stories that now are relevant to the community that is using it.
Communication has always been a part of CSI's activities. And in the first phase of CSI, we've seen where communication has manifested itself into projects. The Regional Radio Project, with its focus on the use of community radio. You've also had the Storytelling Project, looking at a traditional form of communication in the Caribbean, emphasizing the oral traditions we have here. It's also been manifested in the way the CSI has done its documentation of the various projects, the use of video documentaries to document what's going on in the projects, to document parenting practices. We're looking at how we can infuse communication into all the various projects that will be implemented in the future of CSI. And it's going to be communication happening all around. Communication within projects, communication about the projects to a wider audience, communication between projects, and even communication about the CSI to other target audiences.
Bernard Van Leer Foundation has always recognized the importance of an ongoing evaluation for CSI. I was contracted early on in the process to do a process evaluation. I came on board, and the first thing I realized was that although CSI wanted to move from a project-oriented approach to a program-oriented approach, that it wasn't actually doing that. So that was one of the first tasks that I took on. And I think as a result of that, CSI has gone a long way onto the road of being a program as opposed to a projectized thing.
The CSI Program Office in Barbados plays a key role in ensuring that the BVLF mandate is fulfilled. Serving in a facilitating capacity, the CSI office has been instrumental from the early days of the program in mapping local conditions, forging partnerships with government institutions, local NGOs and donor agencies, incubating and negotiating new projects and coordinating regional events. In 2005, CSI established a multidisciplinary strategy group comprising of regional and international resource persons to provide advice on the treatment of emerging issues confronting the CSI, in particular, issues of learning, expansion, and sustainability.
The idea is to look for strategies that both are empowering in terms of building strengths on strengths within the region, and which are effective. And then on top of that, they have to find ways in which the countries in which they are placed can maintain them.
Over the next 5 years, the CSI program will seek to build on and strengthen its accomplishments in a number of key areas. The introduction of new parenting support models across the region, the engagement of the academic communities at the University of the West Indies around the internship concept, strengthening partnerships with local policymakers, as well as nurturing and strengthening relationships with the donor community as well as other development agencies across the region. These successes have given the CSI program regional credibility and has positioned the program to be more influential in the areas of public policy and advocacy, as well as knowledge building and application, so that future programs around child rearing and parenting in the region are better informed and thereby more effective.